playtest session. This is session number 4. This is rule set 0.1.5 with some slight modifications to the units. So if you are looking at the 0.1.5 unit stats, then it won't have everything that we're dealing with right here. But the 0.1.6 unit stats will probably be out by the time we show this video anyway. So this is going to be Xlanthos vs. Corporation again, but much larger game. By much larger, I mean we added... Actually, it's not much larger, is it? It feels much larger. We've added some more solos, basically, as you will see. Just a quick warning again, these play tests are unedited and they are long. They'll probably be a couple hours long. So sit back and relax. And if you have any feedback for the game, it'd be really useful if you read the rules and play tested yourself as well so you can get more experience with it. There will be a link below this video to the Dark Potential forums where you can post that feedback and you can have discussions with other people. So let's take a look at the armies as well as the board.
Okay, so today I'm going to play the Xlanthos. I've never actually played them before, so this is very exciting for me. I get to see if I can win with them, because apparently they've been winning more often than not. But in our opinion here, they're pretty well balanced. But we'll see what happens today. Here we have my commander. He's armed with his regular war gear. You've probably seen in the other playtesting video. He's got his Electron Masser, which I'm excited to use, and his Gravitic Mine. And so he'll be nice, 5 command points. Then, the thing that we added, I don't know if we used this in the last playtest with Dan.
No, this is new.
So the brand new, so it's the sub-commander. And so he's called the Manipulator.
Oh yeah, this is more than just a sub-commander. This guy's like...
He's half the army.
Yeah, he's awesome sauce. Manipulator.
So, why don't you go ahead and explain his abilities?
Okay, so this might be a little ridiculous, but we're going to find out. He has he doesn't have any specific ranged weaponry. He's faster, he's got movement 7. His armor is only 2, but you'll see why that is in a second. And he's got a leadership of 8, 3 wounds, 3 command points, and the commander special role. But it's his special equipment that is really cool. He's got a dark manipulator and a dark shield generator. The dark shield generator basically just boosts his armor, but against specific types of weaponry. So basically, anytime during his activation, you choose one, either get a +3 armor versus ballistic, or versus energy. And that lasts until his next activation. And so he's either armor 5 against ballistic or armor 5 against energy, which is very powerful. But the problem is the corporation has both. They're mainly ballistic, but the commander has an energy weapon. And on top of that, the flame launcher is a flame weapon, which this one can't block at all. So it'll be the +3 armor versus ballistic will probably be used most, because that'll be most useful against the corporation.
And that's not an action, that's just what he has.
Yeah, he just chooses at any time during your activation. And obviously you want to do it like right at the beginning, because you lose it at the beginning of your activation. And if you run out in front of Overwatch or something, you want to have that already activated. But it is any time during your activation. The Dark Manipulator is a weapon, but as an action, you choose one of 3 things that it does. It's either a Gravitic Crusher, which this is a standard range 8 AoE 3 weapon, so it can deviate. But its strength is the armor of the target and ignores armor. That sounds kind of strange, but basically what it means is the more armor you have, the stronger it is against you, the more it crushes you to the ground. And so its strength is your armor, so you basically have to roll equal to or under your armor, because you don't subtract your armor from its strength, because that wouldn't make any sense. And then after you fire it, it becomes an AoE 3 Gravity Mine, which lasts until the next time. Or you can choose Gravitic or Gravity Manipulation, which allows it to basically place up to 3 Xlanthos Gravitic Mines. That's the gravity mines within 20 inches, which is pretty awesome, but it's an action, not a movement. Or 3 is Force Manipulation, where you target a model or squad within 12 inches, and that target moves d6 inches directly towards or away from the manipulator. It's up to the controlling player to decide. So it can use to be pull people out of cover or push them away, or we'll kind of find out what it's used for. Very powerful, but it's only 12-inch range. So I really have no idea if this is going to be like super overpowered or completely useless.
Take you out of cover.
Yeah, but you have to be within 12 inches anyway, which would be a pretty good shooting distance. But you're also movement 7, which means you can get up further. But you're also a commander, so you don't want to get too far away from your own squads.
Give the leadership. Yeah,
I really have no idea how that guy's going to turn out.
Yeah, and that's why we play test.
All right, so you keep going then. Talk about your other guys.
Okay, so we have the Assassin, which you've seen before. He has his regular war gear, 2 command points. I don't know if that was changed last time.
Yes, that's new.
That is new? Okay.
He's a loner now, which is a new universal special rule.
Which means he can't borrow the leadership of another guy or receive command points from his commander.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm excited to use his ability where he's able to walk through terrain and you know, make a lot of awesome close combat attacks where he ignores armor. Pretty excited about that, I'm not going to lie, because I like close combat. Now on to the troops. These are just the regular Zlanthos troops, a squad of 4 and a squad of 5. They're the exact same kitted out. There's just one more for points purposes because we're equal amount of points here.
Yeah, we're doing a 37-point game.
As opposed to the, what have we done before?
Probably more close. We haven't added much to your army, because normally we played with 2 squads of 4 and a commander and the assassin. So we've added another guy and that. So this isn't much bigger than our other games, but I wanted to try out all the solos on the corporation side. We've actually added points values to everything, so we'll see how well balanced it feels. Of course, points are really hard to balance because...
How much was the manipulator?
He's 4 points.
So he was 4, okay.
Yeah, he's 4 points. So it's kind of like War Machine-esque style of points. I find that easier to try to balance that way.
Yes.
So, anything else?
That's it.
All right, let's take a look at the corporation on the other side. On this side, we have the corporation. I'm going to put this guy up there. So, let's go over what you already know. We've got the commander with his laser, or her in this case, laser rifle. The rate of fire of the laser rifle has been increased to 3. They've also added a special rule onto it called sustained shot. Basically gives a +1 range skill to the person firing it. So whether that makes sense or not, we'll find out. Then we got 2 of your regular recruits with various handguns and smoke grenades. So 2 groups of 5 of those. And then we got our sniper, which has also become a loner, which is why it has 2 command points. And we've got our flamethrower guy. I know that looks like a rocket, but we're proxying here. Unfortunately, we don't have our models done yet, so that's what we got to do. Additions to this is the sergeant. He just has a rifle, which is it's rate of fire 3, but a strength 5. So it's a similar weapon to the laser rifle, but it has the same range 10, but it's 1 strength lower, and it doesn't have the sustained shot. So it's not as good as the commander at shooting, but more importantly, it has 3 command points and the commander special rule. So this will help the straggling squad that leaves the commander. You can have the sergeant with them. Other thing we've added is another heavy weapon specialist. This is exactly the same as the flamer guy, except he has a portable machine gun instead of the flame launcher. And the portable machine gun is strength 6, range 10, and it has a rate of fire 2 if you move and shoot, or 4 if you hold still and shoot. And it also has a suppressive rule, which means he by himself can actually do suppression fire. It would just be an AoE 3, but still, one model being able to do suppression fire is pretty cool. And even if he moves, he can still do that. So we've added that to the armies. I would say we're getting pretty close to a typical size game.
Yeah.
It's my guess. Obviously, as we get to know the armies more, the games will go faster. This one will probably take a couple hours just because we're still learning the rules, and we're still we're deliberating on everything and how it feels.
Yeah.
Really paying attention to.
Like combing over everything.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see, but I think that this maybe a little bit more than this will be a typical size game, probably because I'd like the Zlanthos to have a bit more flexibility. So maybe like a 40 to a 50-point game will be typical. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. And it also
like a number of assassins. Or...
Yeah, and there will be something similar to the field allowance that War Machine has that'll limit how many of each solo you can bring per 50 points or something like that. So things like the sniper you'll probably only be able to bring 1 or 2 of in a 50-point game. Commander obviously is limited to 1. The sergeant you can probably bring 1 or 2. Things like that. Most things will be limited to a couple in a 50-point game, and then the troops, of course, will be usually unlimited.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Sub-commander though, since it's a sub-commander, maybe 2. Right?
Yeah, probably 2. So you could bring all those extra command points if you want. Although the manipulator might only be 1. There will be more than 1 sub-commander type.
Yeah,
and there will even more commander types too.
Yeah.
That's just special. Okay, so let's take a look at the board, which is right here. And we've decided to playtest something different because terrain makes a huge difference in your playtest. This is a 1-level board. So basically what I mean by that is there's no second level. There's no going up in buildings or anything else like that. And consequently, we've put a lot of line of sight blocking terrain down. The rules basically are all these are impassable, and they block line of sight, including if they're touching, so you can't see through here. Except for this right here, you can see through that, and you can't see through here. And so this creates some interesting firing lanes. Like right here, you can see that you can only fire at that distance. Right here, you can only fire at that distance. And then we got trees on the outside, which are area terrain. And we've decided that everything will be a level 2 terrain, or a level 2 cover. So if you're in cover, you have level 2 cover, except if you're in a window, it'll be a level 3 cover. Let's assume that you're trying to fortify that position a bit more, just to give some variety and see what happens with that. And the outside of the boards, of course, are much more open because most of the fighting doesn't happen there. So try to create kind of this maze of areas you can go through. The assassin will have the best advantage here.
Yes.
Because he'll be able to run through.
I'm excited to use them.
Yeah.
Only on this side of the river, right?
Yeah, the river is out of bounds. So the board ends here. You're supposed to play on a 4x4 board.
It's close enough.
So yeah, it's close enough. Most of the action usually sticks in the middle anyways. All right, so let's get going. We're going to roll to see who goes first, and then we'll have some fun. All right, so Dave just rolled a 1, and I rolled a 6. So I will go first.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 12-inch deployment. Anywhere on my side. We're just keeping it straightforward for now. And so
We're doing first, your commander?
it's got a bunch of
solos?
guys. I'm going to have 2 pockets of guys. I'm going to have the commander with some guys, and then I'll have the sergeant with some guys. So we'll
Spread out the command points.
yeah. And I'm going to try to be a little different here and not engage you so much at range. It seems that I think the reason Xanthos are winning more often than they're not is because most of the time it turns into a gunfight. Now, I'm not necessarily saying I'm trying to get it in close combat, because my guys aren't that great in close combat. They're better than your guys, but not that great. What I'm more saying is that I want to engage you at a closer range, so the difference in range and cover and all that kind of stuff will start to go in my favor, because I'll have numbers. So that's kind of my strategy. So I'm going to try to use the line of sight blocking terrain to my benefit, try to use Overwatch a lot so you can't just jump around a corner and get me. And suppressive fire so that I can try to get your assassin, because suppressive fire works against assassins. I'll walk into it with a stealth base. You got to roll to see if it gets hurt, and if it does, you got to reveal it. Just so you know that. Okay, so why don't we have the commander over here, 12 inches. Put a squad of guys up here. Use lots of smoke grenades and suppressive fire. And we will support this side with a heavy flamer guy. And we'll have the machine gun guy on this side supporting this flank. And the sniper is a loner, which is a disadvantage, but allows me to kind of not worry about placing him near a commander. Mm-hmm. So he just needs good line of sight.
And he's got 2 command points.
Yeah, so I'm going to put him right here, because that's probably our best firing range. And that way he can just keep going on Overwatch and deny this entire line right here. So,
For the bathroom?
it's down the hall, through that door, then through the next door, then on the right. Okay, so the sniper's right there, and then these guys are going to, we got our sergeant right there, and we'll put the squad beside him. The funny thing about playtesting is that we suck at the game, because we haven't read on forums yet about all the cool lists, the perfect combinations, the strategies and stuff. Like, it's hard to actually playtest when you're just starting out, because
Pioneering it.
yeah, you really have no idea. He's got a leadership of 8, so that is in range. So
And it's
the machine gun cannot go on Overwatch.
You can't just like refer to the numbers on the page, too. You have to see it in play.
Yeah, there was some discussion on the forums. Some people were like, "Does Lanthos always win?" Not referring to our games, but just doing number crunching. They're like, "Those Lanthos troops against the corporation troops always win. When you do your rolls, this is what happens." It's like, well, that doesn't matter, because there's so much more to a game than just number crunching. Okay, so I'm deployed. If you just want to take a quick look, you see I have a gun line here. I'm going to try to use cover to the best of my ability and suppression fire to keep you out of stuff. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Ooh. I've got a lot of open spaces on my side here. Oh, we'll see.
So Xanthos deployment. All right, so what's your battle plan? Mr. Alien Zalanthos man.
Okay, so ball tape measure.
It's a good idea.
My plan is to
The plan is that there is no plan.
walk up. I gotta roll for difficult to go through there.
You don't roll for difficulty.
Or I gotta, yeah, I'm thinking 40K. I got
Yes, you
to
are.
move difficult, which is half distance.
No, not inside a building. If you
But to
cross
get up.
through, if you cross through a window, yes, but not just to move on to the building or
If I go
into
through
it.
there because it's an opening, then it doesn't count.
Exactly.
Very good.
Yeah, you don't roll for difficult terrain. Any difficult terrain just costs twice as much movement to move through. So if you're moving through an inch of difficult terrain, it costs you 2 inches of movement, etc., etc.
Oh.
I like that better than the random difficult terrain rolls, which just screw you over.
Let's go here.
And your assassin ignores difficult terrain, of course.
Oh, that'd be perfect. You can see here, but I still get a cover.
Depends if you get cover or not. It just depends on the line of sight. If you're
sounded
if it's perfectly out in the open as we look through it, then no. You have to be obscured. Yeah, we do have some good firing lines right here, which I need to avoid. But it might be hard. It's the hard thing. It's hard to make a board where it's perfectly blocking lots of firing lines. And you don't necessarily want to, because then that goes against the people who have really good range. Like if you never have a firing lane longer than 15 inches, then your sniper's always going to suck. Well, not necessarily, because he can overwatch around a corner.
I got 3 of these things.
Stealth bases.
Deployed within 12, right?
Sorry, what?
Deployed within 12
Yep. And then within 9 inches of each other.
of each other. Okay. Now to figure out where it's going to go where.
Imagine a level 4 stealth guy. 4 bases, they have to be within 12 inches of each other. Be able to cover the whole
Scary.
board. He can be able to cover 4 feet. No, 3 feet. But still. It would be scary.
12 and one more.
Do you know which one is your actual guy?
I certainly do.
All right. Okay, so deployment done.
All done.
Oh no, oh yeah, I was gonna say you still got a model, but that's your assassin.
Yep.
Who is invisible right now. Well, he stays invisible the whole time, it's just whether I know where he is or not. Okay, so Corporation turn 1. All right, let's make it up. All right, here we go. Corporation turn 1. I checked everything already and nothing has line of sight except my commander has a little bit of line of sight across the board right there. You know, you should probably be able to choose to have your energy shield up on first turn with your sub-commander. So you should be able to start the game with it on already.
So he's not pegged off and he can't even use it, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then I'll do that.
So do you want ballistics or energy?
Well, I would choose ballistics 'cause I'm assuming you don't have any energy.
I do. The commander has a laser rifle.
Well, then I'll do that because that's the only one that can see him.
Yeah. Well, right now these guys can move and see him. So,
Who has the better range skill?
oh, the commander, obviously. Although the squad of 5 guys can still do pretty well. But it's pretty far away, and there's cover.
I'll do the energy.
Into the energy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that how you can just use it.
Yeah.
Not just because it benefits me, but it just seems like it's...
You should have it on already, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like first turn. Oh, you haven't activated yet. So, yeah. So you have an armor 5 against energy weapons and armor 2 against everything else right now.
Okay.
Okay. So what the crap am I going to do? I am going to.
Nothing can see nothing.
I know. I just want to make sure I don't move out to where you can see me. I guess I can throw a smoke grenade down. Yeah. Okay. These guys are going to move up. So 6 inches to here, to here, to here, to here, and to here. And
Thank goodness for cover.
yeah, so I'm going to fire, but one of them is going to throw a smoke grenade. That'll be the guy in the back who can't see you anyways.
Which you'll throw after they fire.
Obviously, yeah. I don't want to block line of sight.
Right.
And I'm going to fire at your squad. And so I have 1, 2, 3. I got actually all of them can see it because that one leaf makes it deceiving. Yeah, so 4 of them can see it.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely going to get a level 3 cover
Mm-hmm.
because it's the building.
Right.
And I do farthest to nearest. So it's 2 feet, 2 feet. Yeah, so 2 feet is the furthest. And my range is 8, so that's exactly -2. If it was just a little bit further, it would be -3. So, we've already decided that Dave's going to do his own calculations, just so both sides get a chance to do it, because I'm just like rattling off the numbers fast.
Having the advantage of creating the rules, you know them off the top of your head.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, just going through it, we have their ranged attack, which is 11. You add the number of squad mates participating, which is 4, so we're up to 15. Then we subtract the range, which is 2, so we're down to 13. And your cover of 3, which is down to 10. And then your defense, which is what?
3.
So we're down to 7 or less. And the margin of success matters. I could get up to 8 hits, but obviously I can't because I can't roll negative numbers on 2 dice. Here we are, 7 or less. It's completely cocked. So 8. So I could use their command point and make that a hit, which I will do. So it's going to be a hit at -1 strength. I don't know if that's worth it, because you have so many command points nearby that you're not going to run. But what the heck. So it's going to be -1 strength, so strength 4 instead of 5, and your armor is 3.
3.
So I have to roll a 1. So 2, I will use a commander's command point and kill one of your models. Okay, so that cost me 2 command points to kill a guy, but you're now going to get -2 to your leader.